LinkedIn is home to some of the most cringe posts that exist on the internet. Agree? Scrolling through LinkedIn feels like walking through an echo chamber of SEALs self-congratulating themselves for being able to open a door. Thoughts? In today's video, I got some of the most kooky, cringiest, most LinkedIn, and borderline asinine posts from LinkedIn. For the most part, I'm going to crop out everyone's name, but the content itself is hilarious. Let's get right into it. Tonight was the first time I've been to a Hooters. I just wanted to give a shout out to Tori and Silvia for providing me with an excellent customer service experience while here in Orlando, Florida. Tori and Silvia are awesome. This post is wild. You know what? I'm just going to show this guy's face. He posted it on LinkedIn. It is a wild series of photos. So he's got two selfies here, one with Tori and one with Silvia. Not only that, but this guy's a senior director of HR. This guy is a walking HR case waiting to happen. Imagine the look on this guy's face as soon as he walked into this Hooters. It's his first time seeing women maybe outside the office ever. He loved it so much that he had to take a selfie here with Tori and Silvia, who I'm sure did a great job. I've never been to Hooters, but I'm sure the customer service is great. Hopefully he left them a big tip. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going to Hooters, especially as a 55, 60-year-old man. That's their target audience. What he's doing is he is supporting these women. He's the target audience of Hooters. If anything, props to him for supporting these employees. Just don't post it on LinkedIn, especially not selfies with the women that were your servers. Next post. I once fired a top performer, not because they weren't good, because their fire was gone. Here's why. The numbers were there, but the attitude was off. The skills were strong, but the drive was fading. The impact was shrinking, and so was the ROI. Wait a minute. So the numbers were there, and the skills were strong, but the impact was shrinking, and so was the ROI? What does this mean? What numbers were there, and what impact was shrinking? There's just not enough context here to understand what actually happened. Keeping someone just because they were great once is bad leadership. Growth requires hard decisions. Would you let go of a high performer who lost their edge? Repost to challenge leaders to make the right calls. Honestly, this probably didn't happen, but let's assume for the sake of this video that it all did happen. Let's assume for the sake of this LinkedIn post that it did happen. So this guy's a founder and CEO of some group. Once your impact starts to shrink, they no longer need you and they got to get rid of you because they need to show that they are a good leader. This guy's contradicting himself. He says that he once fired a top performer because their fire was gone. Does that just mean that he no longer attended the happy hours, that he no longer wanted to hang out with the team after hours, that he no longer wanted to respond to our text right away? It's really hard to tell what happened here because their fire was gone just doesn't make sense, especially in the corporate world. This guy does not care about you. He cares about the bottom line. If anything, this post proves it. If he really did fire one of his top performers because their fire was gone, he's just showing you that you don't matter. You don't matter to these people. It is what it is. He needs to be a good leader, and that's what he cares about, trying to assert his dominance in the workforce in the company that he built, and you're just a puppet in this game. So once you are no longer contributing the way that he wants you to, once your fire is gone, once your impact starts to shrink, even if you're a top performer, you gotta go. I'm working on 24 startups simultaneously, 500,000 B2B users, multi-million ARR. No VC funding, employees, costs, office managers, ... Each business is run 100% async over chat. Me, idea, design, UX, and marketing. Co-maker, coding, product, and support. This guy does it all. This guy is the James Bond of startups. This guy's able to run 24 startups all at the same time. ChatGPT can only do 10. This guy has double the capacity of ChatGPT. That's how good he is. If you're not building 24 startups at the same time, you might as well just stop working. You might as well just give up because this guy right here has it all figured out. This is so ridiculous. He's running 24 startups at the same time. What does that actually mean? What does that even mean? Working in a startup takes up all of your time. It takes up 100% of your time. Sometimes it takes 110% of your time. That's just what it is. This guy is saying that he's working on 24 of them at the same time. Not only that, but he has no VC funding, no employees. It's literally him and his co-maker. Who's the co-maker? That's the important question here because he's saying the co-maker is doing the coding, the product, and the support. Those are the actual, mind you, I'm a dev, I'm a developer. To me, The coding product and the support is where a lot of the time would go. That's where you actually need to be actually coding the solution. You can't code 24 startups at the same time. You can't code 24 products at the same time. This guy's spitting them out faster than the code maker could even code them up. He's writing 2 lines of code, and then this guy has 10 new ideas, and the code maker's got to go make them now. And the code maker's got to go figure it out. Oh my gosh. You know who the code maker probably is? The code maker's probably ChatGPT. This guy's not even a two-man team. It's literally him and ChatGPT as he's just coming up with ideas and telling ChatGPT to code them out. So ridiculous. Thanks for sharing. Well said, Kathleen. Thanks for sharing. Good insight. There's 10 more comments that are just like this one. This is a literal echo chamber of fake positivity. This post was from a recruiter sharing some insights on the hiring industry as a whole, and it is tough. I know it is tough. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be positive or sharing useful insights on LinkedIn. The problem is you always have someone who wants to add their thoughts, but the thoughts aren't helpful, and they're all the same. It's like when you're in a meeting at work and someone wants to piggyback off of something that you just said, but they rephrase it and it means the exact same thing. Then someone else has to add the exact same thought. That's what this is, except it's worse. Because all they're saying is, thanks for sharing, good insight, thanks for sharing. It's just an echo chamber. It's just useless. Might as well not even comment. Just leave it alone. You got the insight. Don't leave a comment. Keep scrolling. Is it just me, or does everyone I interview these days list their hobby as hiking? Nothing wrong with hiking. It's great for fresh air. But what happened to a bit of variety? Where are the people into cooking, wine tasting, arts, being in a band, going to gigs, sports, clubbing? Sure, this is wild. This guy wants to know every intimate detail of your life. This guy wants to know if you snorted cocaine off of a stripper last weekend. That's the kind of company that he runs. There's no secrets here. They're a family. They need to know everything about you. They need to know what you did last night. They need to know what you did this morning. And they need to know what you're going to do this weekend and next weekend. If you have some cool hobbies, and if you don't want to share them at work, don't share them. They don't need to know. They're not privileged to know what you do outside of working hours. Hiking is such a safe hobby to say because everybody enjoys hiking. Literally everybody enjoys hiking. It's like traveling. Those are the two safest hobbies that you can share that aren't going to hurt your application, that because everybody likes to do them. I think in recruitment, you need to stand out from the crowd, and if you're coming in for an interview at Cornerstone Recruitment Japan, take the time to be original and show us what makes you you. Your hobbies don't need to be crazy or unique, but they should be genuine. And while you're at it, do your homework on the company. Know what we do, what makes us different, and why you want to be a part of it. Hiking is great, but bring something that helps us remember you. So not only do you need to have a hobby that is super cool and interesting at least to the co-founder of the company, but your hobby also needs to be able to raise value for the stakeholders. This is crazy. This is crazy talk. So while you as the candidates are spending hours and hours of getting ready for the interview, the only thing that he actually cares about is what your hobbies are. He cracked the code. Honestly, if this is how it was, this would be a way easier approach to interviewing. You know what? This guy might be onto something. So to all future candidates, bring your energy, your personality, and maybe even a hobby that makes us say, that's interesting. This guy just wants you to have a cool hobby, and that's all it takes to get a job here. I'm sure that's all it takes. I'm sure that's all it takes. Listen, the hobby doesn't matter. Just keep saying hiking. It's a safe bet. On this job application, it asks, how many LinkedIn followers do you currently have? And it's a required field. Some of the best engineers that I have worked with have the tiniest LinkedIn accounts with maybe 30 people on there. This does not matter at all. It should not matter at all. Please do not ask this. And matter of fact, if you get asked this question, just put 0. Just leave it be. I hate working from home. No, sorry. I hate working from home. There, I said it. My main beef with work from home is I'm a social being who loves to collaborate. I get lonely at home on my own. Get a dog, get a cat, get a hamster. You being lonely does not mean that the rest of us should go into the office so that you aren't lonely anymore. Figure it out. Go ahead and figure it out. My electricity bill goes up. My kitchen becomes my office. There's no separation. My washing pile looks at me all day. Wash your clothes. Wash your clothes. That one is self-explanatory. Come on. I get office FOMO, especially when someone brings in cakes. This person has a fear of missing out in the office. I have a fear of being included. I do not want to be in the office. I do not want to be included in any of the plans, in any of the events. I don't even want to be thought of. Just leave me alone, let me do my work, and there, we'll be happy. I'll be happy, you'll be happy, my work will be done, and that's it. But I am in the minority when I say this. A lot of businesses are enforcing return to office mandates known as an RTO and seeing a higher rate of persistence from the workforce than ever before. A research study showed 53% of employees would not comply with an RTO for 5 days per week and would look for another role, an increase of 9% just 2 years prior. The data shows these most likely to quit are senior and high performing employees. I need to see this research study. I don't know how true it is. It might be true, it might not be. Things things change, especially when you're actually confronted with a situation. Hypotheticals, especially when it relates to your job, are just not very useful because you don't know what you'll do unless it actually happens. You have such a mix of people and the way that they are the most productive. You have some people that work best from home, where they're in their own space, where they could be productive without any distractions from the office. And you have some people that like being in the office, and maybe their role, their position is actually better suited to work collaboratively. Maybe these people are also more social, and that little boost in serotonin from talking to other people improves their productivity. It's just so different for everybody. And I know that pre-COVID, there was one solution fits all, which is everybody has to go to the office 5 days a week. So I got to admit, a hybrid approach, 3 days, 2 days in the office, and then the others working from home, I think is a reasonable solution. It is what it is. If it were up to me, though, it would be fully remote. There you have it. That's it for this video. I post a video every week, every Tuesday. If you enjoyed the content and if you want to see more, please subscribe to my channel. If you liked the video, please like the video. If you have any thoughts, if you agree, leave a comment. That's it for this video. I'll see y'all next week. Have a good one. Bye.